Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? Good morning, Sherry. Hi, Keels. Someone else is here. Who else is here? Good morning, Sue. So, today's an exciting day. I have two new vintage papeteries for you. They are, I'm so excited to share them with you. Okay, so look. So they are order forms for the National Tailoring Company. Shut up, right? So fun and cool. So, good morning, Beth Johnson. So, and these are, you know, like all the others, they are $1 on the website. And they were just listed this morning. So I wanted to try a couple of different things. So we have, hi Kelly, we have used these, the first two we've used in different ways. We have ran them through the printer and printed others of my art printables, like this one. I printed the Lucinda on top of one of the, I think this is Vintage Papeterie 1. Anyway, so we've done that, but today, I was wondering what would happen. So I printed mine on just on copy paper. So then I was wondering what would happen if I painted one with clear gesso, and I don't even know if this clear gesso is good anymore. It could be. Oh, it looks like it's still wet in there. I haven't used it. Oh no, it is nothing. So anyway, so we'll be throwing that away. I had like so many different ideas this morning. Seriously, I got out some distress inks and some distress oxides. I got some stencils out. Like I had all these different ideas in my noggin. But then I was thinking, what would happen if I coated each of these with something and then painted on top of them? So this one, I'm going to do a really light coat of watercolor ground. So you're going to be able to still see the artwork behind it, right? But number one, the watercolor ground is going to give it a little bit more sturdiness. And I'm kind of watering this down a little bit. Just see what happens. I put it on, and dip my brush, and then I move it around. So my thought is that this will give the page a little bit more sturdiness, and let's see what watercolors do on top of it, you know? So let's give it a whirl. So there's a woman's order form and a men's order form, and they're just about the funniest things you've ever seen, and I'm just madly in love with them. And seriously, the customers build normal, erect, stooping, high shoulders, low shoulders, large hip, large abdomen. It made me laugh so hard. It made me laugh so hard. And the different kinds of measurements for a lady's coat. Oh my gosh, I was just dying. Okay, so since clear gesso didn't really work, because I'll have to dig in the cabinet to find more clear gesso, let's do them both with watercolor ground. See what happens. Okay, so set the ladies' page beside to dry. Now let's do the men's. And seriously, the men's is just as funny. So I'm just going to coat these both. With watercolor ground. And I think some of these are like for uniforms, maybe? I don't know. Whatever they're for, they make me laugh. These and these I got when I was at a flea market a million years ago in Texas. I found like a whole book of these. Seriously. It makes me laugh so hard. I got so many. I have so many more vintage papeteries for everybody. I have so many. Okay, so that is that. So let's wash that brush out. Let's dry these. Is everybody hanging in there with me? And my crazy idea first thing this morning? Yes, in Canton. Yes, that is the, you know, I wanted to go dig around in all the old papers. That was my jam. And I got so, oh my gosh. Wait till you see. It's so many. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Big water blob right there. Let's dry those. So for today, my thought is that we're just gonna, today we're gonna make some art papers, right? So, I'm gonna paint our vintage papeteries with some watercolor ground, and I'm telling you, it's worth the investment. It's not horribly expensive, I will say. Let me see. I don't even know if there's the price on this. There's Daniel Smith. There's other watercolor grounds, but Daniel Smith is a nice one. Okay. All right. So now I'm feeling like I want to do one at a time. And I want to just paint a watercolor, kind of a watercolor pattern sort of thing. So I'm going to try and flatten this as much as I can. And then I'm going to come in with my brush. You know, my number 6. I use it all the time. Excuse me, number 4. And I'm going to just start painting a pattern. So my first thought when I got all of my when I got all of my distress inks out and distress oxides was that I was going to do, I don't know, I had all kinds of ideas. But now I'm feeling like I want to do some kind of squares. So look, I'm just going to do, and this is going to be so relaxing, right? Just a square. And then maybe a long. So you know when you see a technique, right? So I saw this technique on the on Willa Wanders, on her let's do this. Remember, work that water into your paint. Take a couple seconds to do that. I saw this on Willa Wanders' Instagram, this kind of pattern. Not exactly, but you know, the idea. Then I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool on top of this? And what would happen if I put watercolor down first? And I'm just making this up as I go. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to this pattern. It's just kind of happening organically. Hi, Roseanne. Hey, Melissa. I hope everybody has a nice water. I am drinking peach raspberry this morning. I'll go back to regular old water a little later. And I'm just I guess I'm just using 3 colors. That's what that's what kind of started happening here. You know, if I make this one a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna make a couple of these art papers today, and then we'll make they'll just be in my stash of art papers when we go to make art with our art at a later date, right? And just take your time. No need to rush. Look, I've got myself in a trap. Well, I'm gonna have to do a long skinny lavender right there. Did you see what I meant by the trap? I had like a blue and a yellow right here, and I needed something right here. Hi. And I'm just gonna keep working until I fill this whole sheet with this pattern. And your pattern can be whatever you want, right? I just happened to see this and it kind of spoke to me this morning. But think about, your pattern could be all circles or stripes or, I don't know, whatever tickles your fancy, you know? And keep turning that substrate so that you have a fresh look, you know? That you're looking at it with fresh eyes each time you turn it. You're going to see a different area that could use some color, you know? And this, because I'm doing a pattern, it forces me to slow down, you know? So I haven't watched all of CBS Sunday Morning this week, but I did see one that I talked about in my stitchery class yesterday. And it was about the wildflowers in Crested Butte, Colorado. So Keely, we need to make a field trip there. So Crested Butte, Colorado has this amazing bounty of wildflowers. Oh, you guys, I'm loving this. And isn't that crazy? This is just like a, these colors I just kind of picked when I started painting. Like it just kind of came to me. Let's do some blue. Okay, so let's talk about the wildflowers of Crested Butte, Colorado. So, Crested Butte used to be a mining town for coal. I think they had little bits of gold and silver, but mostly coal. And then though the coal mines closed in, like they were opened in the 1800s and then they closed in 1952. And when that happened, you know, that made a lot of people unemployed, which is a sad situation. Anyway, what am I gonna do? So when that happened, then in the early 60s, a ski resort opened. But then the people were looking for things that for a summer destination, because they already had the winter destination, and they have this bounty of wildflowers, and they are just stupendous. Anyway, they and the wildflowers, they have found now that they have like this perfect environment because of the isolation. You know, they're kind of in a valley, right? And there's not a lot of people around there. And the slow rate of snow melt and the nutrient-rich soil. So they just have a plethora of wildflowers. And you know I love me a wildflower. I do. I think I'm going to go yellow right here. That's pretty, huh? Hey Sheila. Hi Renee. Anyway, they let's do that again here. Let's do a long yellow. There we go. And then let's do some more blue. Right there. Okay, now it's purple's turn. So let's see. We could do a big purple right here. So, as the story was going on, I found that there's a painter. Mo Rocca was the interviewer, and you know he's always fun and has something fun to contribute. Anyway, he was painting with this guy. Uh-oh, I got my first bleeder. Whose name was Nicholas Reddy. And he paints the wildflowers, right? But he has kind of an interesting, method. He would take his paints, you know, he would set himself up with his watercolors and everything, but he would just do kind of a watercolor sketch out there. And then he would come back and do, I should have made that blue. Now that I'm thinking about it. See what happens when I talk and paint at the same time. Anyway, he does these watercolor sketches, and then he goes back to his studio and paints his paintings, and they're just unbelievable. And one of his paintings got chosen this year as the artwork for this year's Wildflower Festival poster. So yes, they have a Wildflower Festival each summer, and I believe it was in July, but it's like you can still, they have tours where you can go on hikes and see different flowers. You cannot pick anything. You oh, it looks like I'm repeating myself here. There and there. But you can learn all about them. There's a man named Rick Rebus, and he is an interpretive guide for the Rocky Mountain Biological Library, and he will take you on a tour and a hike and share with you all kinds of knowledge about the all of the different wildflowers. They have over 1,500 varieties, 1,500 species, which I thought was fascinating. So think about this, this paper, right, will be, you can use it in so many ways, right? You could paint this whole sheet and use this as a page in your art journal, right? And then you could build upon that. Or you could cut it up. Or you could tear it. There's so many things. You could do things on top of this. Once I'm finished painting this whole thing, I could come back and do something else. Everybody take a drink. Anyway, it sure made me want to go see those flowers. And the funny thing was that during yesterday's stitch along, I was stitching Wyoming, because you know I did the state flower series for Adorn It embroidery patterns, and I was stitching Wyoming, and they were talking about the Wyoming, one of the sorry, I got myself all looking at colors. One of the wildflowers that they were talking about was the Wyoming, another square, the Wyoming Indian paintbrush, which is very different than the, which was very different than the Michigan Indian paintbrush. And I was showing people yesterday the Wyoming Indian paintbrush is this is the Michigan Indian paintbrush. Isn't that fascinating? And the Wyoming Indian paintbrush, let me show you. Looks like this. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that the craziest thing? But cool, right? So, oh, what did you say, Tam? I think I painted. Oh, I love that, Tam. I love that. That baby. Remember when she was the baby? I can't believe she's going to be in kindergarten. Desiree is going to be in first grade. And she is just all about it. And Braxton is going to be in the fourth grade. Time goes by so fast, doesn't it? And this month he turns 9. I just can't even get over it. Look at, I love that the ladies are painted now. I'm just loving it. Could you think that you're, you think that you're going to be aware of them, but you kind of don't. You're more aware of your pattern. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of a funny phenomenon that happens. Well, hello, Marcia. How are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. So I'm just like hemming and hawing about what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know if I want to like make it a page. If I want to like cut out sections to use in my art journal. That might be cool, right? Make that one a little longer. I just think I want to, I don't know. Is anybody painting along with me? Start to fill it in. And then come back and deepen up that end. So the art, so the mushroom art printable, Sue, is in the Artsy Alchemy 3 class. So you should, hi Nancy. You should be able to, you should be able to find it there. If not, let me know. And I will tell you, when we create these art papers, I save all of my bits and pieces, all of them. So, like I printed, so like the mushrooms that I printed from the Artsy Alchemy class, I'll save all these little bits because I can paint on that and use that in a collage in my art journal. I have this piece that, because remember I stamped with my Unity stamp. I stamped it onto one of my, I think this is Vintage Papeterie 2. I stamped directly on it and then painted it, but I had this little piece left. Oh, I'll be saving that. Who knows what I'll make. I mean, think about, you could make, that's funny, Keels. I know, as soon as you said that, I was like, are my shapes getting bigger? I don't know. Absolutely, Sue. I can absolutely do that. And it might be in the file. I think it's in the file section of that group. If it is not, you let me know. But it might be. I think it is. Who knows? That's an easy fix, Sue. I think I need to come in with some yellow. It's yellow's turn. I hope that everybody's just having an easy day today. It was very stormy during the night here, and so I was just feeling it this morning. Just feeling like, let's just make an art paper. Then we'll make something with it at a later date. Or, you know, who knows? Because I know I have another whole one to paint. I was going to do some more yellow. A little yellow square right there. Just kind of feeling that. watercolor ground is giving this copy paper some stability and giving me a little bit more wiggle room with my watercolors on this substrate, because you know copy paper has no wiggle room. So the watercolor ground was a good idea. I will do that again. The color choice, I'm not hating it. I was kind of surprised at myself for choosing these colors, but now I'm kind of liking them. And the vintage papeterie, I am all about that. I did finish the piece that I was working on in Tuesday's class. Remember, with the Faber-Castell box, Try It box, and some paints. Look at that. Can we just talk about how madly in love with this I am? I'm so in love with it. I don't even know what I'm going to do, but it's in my stack of fodder that I will, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it'll be something grand. I'm just going to tell you. Oh, before we get too far gone, let's make sure that we read out of the comfort book today. Okay. Knowledge and the forest. Know your enemy. In the classic Chinese military treatise, The Art of War, Sun Tzu offered advice that echoed through the centuries. It is timeless advice because, of course, it doesn't just apply to war. If we fully understand, say, depression, or a physical disease, or the nature of climate change, or injustice, it helps us combat these things. Without knowledge of our difficulties, we would be in trouble. For instance, the average person plugged into the middle of the Amazon rainforest would probably struggle to survive because they wouldn't understand all the threats they faced. But Julianne Kopecky wasn't an average person. She was a person with knowledge. On Christmas Eve, 1971, aged 17, somewhere over Peru, Kopecky fell through the sky strapped to her seat after lightning struck her plane. All 91 of the other people on board died, including her own mother, but she survived the fall and managed to get out of her seat once it had fallen through the jungle canopy. Kopecky was in pain. She was in shock. She had a broken collarbone and deep cuts on her legs. She was also in a state of fear for her life. At the sight of other dead bodies, she felt paralyzed by panic. She grabbed some provisions she found amid the debris and tried to find her way to civilization. Kopecky knew a lot about the rainforest. Her parents were both zoologists. Before the crash, she had spent over a year living with them in a research station within the Peruvian rainforest. In her own words, she knew that, armed with knowledge, it didn't have to be the green hell people imagined. So, for instance, she knew that snakes could be camouflaged to look like dried leaves. She knew the sounds of various bird calls. She knew which signs to look for in order to find water and ended up finding a creek. Her dad had also once told her that if you followed the flow of running water, you would eventually find civilization. As described in her book, When I Fell from the Sky, she passed vultures feeding on corpses. Snakes, mosquitoes, and deadly spiders were a continual threat. One of her wombs became infested with maggots. Ugh. She suffered from the heat of the sun, but all the time she was aided by knowledge. She decided to walk as much as possible in the water of the stream in order to avoid snakes, spiders, and the poisonous plants of the jungle floor. She stayed in the middle of the stream in order to avoid piranhas, which she knew mainly swam in shallow water. She knew this would mean she would probably encounter alligators, but she also knew that unlike snakes, alligators rarely attacked humans. On and on she walked, as her infested wound grew ever more painful. She had no food now. She felt weary and in a dreamlike state, yet she had determination she believed was passed down from her father. When we have really resolved to achieve something, her father once said, we succeed. We only have to want it, Julianne. She stayed on the lookout for jungle paths, found one, and then followed it. It led her to a deserted hut that had a liter of petrol outside. She also had been taught that in an emergency, petrol can be a painful remedy for severely infected wounds, so she used it to dress her own injury. Eventually, on the 11th day, she heard human voices, and the jungle-dwelling men who found her took her on a long boat ride back to civilization. The day after her rescue, she was reunited with her father. Kopecki's story would eventually be the subject of the Werner Herzog-directed documentary Wings of Hope. Herzog himself had originally been an intended passenger on the ill-fated plane. Julianne graduated in biology and kept the family tradition of zoology alive, as she is currently the librarian at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology in Munich. Of course, it is unlikely we will find ourselves in the middle of the Amazon, stranded after a plane crash, but when we find ourselves lost and stranded in the tangled forest of our own lives, we can get to know the territory and face up to our wounds and be aware of the metaphorical snakes in the underground, not hindered by ignorance or denial, but armed with self-awareness. Shut up, you guys. That was a good one, wasn't it? Like, I immediately went to places in my life, challenges in my life, and know that I need to learn a little bit more. Everybody take a drink. But we are a learning community, aren't we? We are a community that is always on the lookout for something new and something, not like the next shiny penny, not like that. I mean, I have people in my life that I know are after the next shiny penny. Not that. More, we're always learning, right? This community is always learning. And I think that if you are a learning kind of person, if you are a growing person, then, boy, your world is big, right? Your world is great, big. So be sure to watch that. I love learning too. I love learning too, Nancy. Like about all kinds of things, right? Like I think that's why Keely went to the Museum of Modern Art when she was in New York, right? Who doesn't want to, number one, see those paintings in real life? How amazing is that? Those artworks, right? Who doesn't want to be exposed to all kinds of artists and artworks, right? Because I think you can learn so much about society and people, and people just fascinate me anyway, you know? I want to do a big one this time, I think. Keep doing smaller ones. Do something big this time. This is so relaxing. I'm almost down to the stooping shoulders. That made me laugh so hard. And look at the lady's slacks. That's funny too. And little blue square right there. There we go. Oh my gosh. Absolutely, Nancy. Museums are just, oh, thanks, Keels. And I love that you remembered all those artists that we studied. I loved that. I love that. Just nothing touched my heart more that day. That's for sure. Yeah, I need to go to the grocery store too. I have a fruit salad that I'm going to make for a little girlfriend visit. And it is so good and so easy. So you should all try it. It is a can of crushed pineapple, a basket of strawberries sliced up, and 2 bananas sliced up. And you just mix it up. Oh my gosh. It's the best. Please. I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, let's go to purple. And I was trying to be smart this time and think it through. I think we could do purple right there. Keely, how many colors are you painting on yours? Did you pick 2 colors or 3? Or a whole bunch of different colors? Oh my gosh, it's so easy and it's so fresh. And here's the other cool thing. You can freeze it. So then your bananas don't turn brown or anything. Oh, it's so good. It's so refreshing because it is hot and humid here. See, I keep getting blocked. I know, I should have picked more colors. 3 is a situation. That's for sure. Oh, I could do 1 here. All right. Those flavors are so summery too, aren't they? So summery. I know what I was gonna do right here. Do a little purple right here. And then blue can go right here. Hi, Corey. Welcome. I'm just going to take a second, sit back, and look at what I've painted. Just fall in love with it all over again. I'm telling you, I'm just in love with it. if you are brand new here, if you would follow, like, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then please ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. All of my art printables, like these vintage papeteries, my artsy classes, all things Ann Artsy are on my website, AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. Okay. I'm gonna come back to yellow right here. Hi, Wendy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I could do blue right there, couldn't I? I could do yellow right here. Oh, Debbie, I'm so glad. You have a gift certificate that's coming at you tomorrow for your beautiful Christmas cards that you created. I'm so glad you're here. I'm creating a art paper with a brand new vintage papeterie, which is Vintage Papeterie 3, I believe. And then I'm gonna make something out of this art. I coated it with watercolor ground to give my copy paper just a little bit of stability and to absorb the watercolor. Watercolor ground will make anything watercolor, like watercolor paper, have the properties of watercolor paper, and I'm telling you, you will never regret it. The investment, and it comes in different sizes. And different brands. This has been so relaxing to paint away like this. Absolutely. Everything's on replay. Everything's on replay, Debbie. And you can find all of my Pop and Paint Party classes when you go to this page right here, the Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs page, and you go across the top and it will say, oh gosh, posts and something, something, something. Go all the way to the right. At the right, it will say more. Click on more, and there'll be a pull-down tab. And on that pull-down tab, it'll say photos, videos. Click on videos, and then you will go to, and you will see all of the past Pop and Paint parties. Or you can watch a bunch of stuff on my YouTube channel. I'm slowly working on getting them over there. It's just a time-consuming process. And I have some things that I'm going to do there that are going to be, well, there are a few things there that are exclusive to YouTube. Especially the post from Michelle, my amazing Michelle, who is a Copics queen, who makes me these beautiful videos. I wanted to clear her face just a little bit. This chickie. Because I really like seeing that artwork underneath. And all of my pay classes are available. If it's on my website, it is available. And so once you purchase it, people all the time, like who just discover me, will go to my website. And yesterday I had someone who bought 5 past classes. And I just get them into that private Facebook group. Then they have access to all the creative content, all of the art printables, all of the videos, the creative community, the conversation, all of it is available in a Facebook group. I love it. I can't think of a better way to spend an hour on a rainy morning than painting along with you. That's for sure. Makes me so happy. And in the end, I have this gorgeous art paper that I can create with. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. Looks like I need to go in with some purple. It's purple's turn. Did you really, Keely? Congratulations. That's awesome. And it's just so cool to have this relaxing time, isn't it? I still have a ways to go. Yes, all of my art printables are on my website. And if you, oh, thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I used to do in-person classes, but not so much anymore. You know what? I can, because I can do this. I can talk to you. I mean, I miss the back and forth conversation, certainly, of an in-person class. But I have people who watch me from other countries, from Germany and England and Australia, and how could I do that, you know? So, let me know. Where do you live, Debbie? Seems like I just looked at your address, too. All of my art printables are on my website. There's categories at the top if you don't want to go through the long, long line. But if you're feeling the long, long line, that's available for you. I have 2 brand new stamps that are coming out this on Monday from Unity. I can hardly wait to share those with you. I had a little one that debuted this week, I think, or maybe the end of last week, called Ale Yeah, which has a little beer stein, a little beer mug, and some cute little sentiments. And I'm telling you, that design team at Unity is just fabulous. So I'm so anxious to see what my design team comes up with too, you know. And like I said, I have 2 more that come out on Monday. And I just sent them all kinds of new fall artwork. I can hardly wait to see what they pick up. It's always, you just never know, you know. You send it and you hope for the best, but you just never know what's going to get picked up. Anyway, it's looking like it is time to sign off. I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you just came and spent the morning with me and that we can paint. And if you watch this on the replay, please come back and let me know, say replay so I know. And be sure to hit that like button. After the video is done, that little thumbs up in the upper left corner, please hit that. That shows Facebook that I have lots of engagement. So I know only so many people can watch live, but if you're watching this on the replay, please, if everybody would click that button, and you'll see that it'll say how many people in the upper left corner. Let's get that number bigger so Facebook knows. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, what did you say, Deb? You live in Minnesota. Oh, I would love to meet you face to face too. Sometimes my sister and I, this year we weren't able to do it, but we still will. We take a road trip from my sister's house in Billings, Montana, across the upper states to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, where our parents live. And so I have often stopped at K and Crafts in Moorhead, Minnesota, and taught classes. And I have stopped at Winneconne Crafts in Winneconne, Wisconsin. So, you never know. That's how I met Jan Golden. She came to my class in Winneconne. Anyway, if I'm doing something like that, I will let you all know. If I line something like that up, I will absolutely let you know. I want to go to Unity and see the whole process and meet Angela and Whitney in person and Nicholas in person. I would love to do that. So, fingers crossed that happens someday soon. I adore you all. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.